My beloved child, stop for a moment, because something is beginning to shift, and the most surprising part is that you may already have noticed the first clue without realizing what it meant. Today carries a moment of revelation, not necessarily through something dramatic, but through a message, a conversation, an unexpected realization, a sudden opportunity, or a piece of information that makes you look at your situation completely differently. Don't skip, because the first sign may be subtle enough to overlook. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and this message is going to uncover why a certain thought, delay, encounter, or change may have captured your attention recently. You may have wondered why you suddenly feel ready to move forward after spending so long feeling uncertain. You may have noticed that your priorities are changing. You may even sense that something is different, but you cannot explain exactly what. Pay attention. Sometimes the beginning of a new chapter does not arrive with an announcement. It begins with one small realization that refuses to leave your mind. Here is where the message becomes deeply personal. Think about the one thing you have been quietly waiting to understand. Maybe you have asked yourself whether a certain opportunity will finally appear, whether a conversation will finally happen, whether a plan will finally move forward, or whether you are supposed to take a completely different direction. Today, something may become clearer. But do not expect the revelation to arrive exactly the way you imagined it. That is the surprise. Something huge is waiting for you, but it may come disguised as an ordinary moment. A sentence may suddenly carry a different meaning. A person may reveal something through their actions. An opportunity may appear where you least expected it. Or you may wake up and realize that the thing you were desperately waiting for no longer has the same power over you. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because the real revelation is not simply about what happens today, it is about what you finally understand today. Sometimes clarity is more powerful than an event because clarity changes every decision that follows. And now listen carefully, because this is the part you were not expecting. What is about to be revealed today may not be something being added to your life, it may be something hidden finally becoming obvious. A truth. A direction. A possibility. A lesson. A decision. Something you could not recognize before may suddenly become impossible to ignore. Do not rush to label it as good or bad. Pause. Observe. Pray. Think carefully. Let the facts speak. Something huge is waiting for you, but you may miss its significance if you are looking only for a dramatic sign. Stay till the end. Don't skip now, because the next part will reveal why today may feel strangely different from an ordinary day, and why the smallest detail could become the clue that makes everything suddenly connect. The revelation is coming closer, and when you recognize it, you may finally understand why you were brought to this message at this exact moment. My beloved child, something you have been waiting to understand may be closer to clarity than you realize, but the first clue may arrive in a form you would normally ignore. A conversation could take an unexpected turn. A familiar person could reveal a different side of themselves. An opportunity could appear at a moment you were not expecting. Or a simple thought could suddenly connect several things that have confused you for a long time. Don't skip, because this is where today's revelation begins to take shape. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the surprising part is that you may not recognize its importance immediately. You have been asking for clarity, but clarity does not always arrive as one dramatic announcement. Sometimes it arrives through several small details that suddenly point in the same direction. Pay attention to what repeats. Pay attention to what becomes easier to understand. Pay attention to what no longer feels aligned with your values. Today may reveal something that changes the way you see your next step, but you do not need to force that revelation. Let it become clear naturally. Now think about something you once believed was essential to your happiness. Maybe you spent days imagining how it would happen. Maybe you believed one particular person, opportunity, or outcome had to appear before your life could truly move forward. But what if today reveals that your future is larger than that one expectation? What if something you considered a disappointment actually created room for a better direction? What if a delay gave you time to become ready for something you could not have handled before? Stay till the end. Don't skip, because something huge may be waiting inside that realization. And if this message is reaching a part of your life that you rarely talk about, share it with someone who may need a reminder that clarity can arrive quietly. You do not need to chase every possibility. You do not need to interpret every coincidence as a prediction. You simply need to stay awake to what is real. Sometimes the revelation you have been waiting for is not a new circumstance. It is a new understanding of an old circumstance. And now comes the unexpected turn. The thing being revealed today may have been developing long before you noticed it. A decision may have been forming. A relationship may have been showing its true direction through repeated actions. An opportunity may have been preparing itself through several small steps. Or you may have been changing internally without realizing how much you have grown. Something huge is waiting for you, but the revelation may begin with a single sentence, one decision, one conversation, or one moment of clarity. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the next part will uncover why the timing matters and why the revelation may feel surprisingly personal when it finally becomes clear. Today is not about forcing an outcome. It is about recognizing what is already becoming visible. And once you see it, you may realize that the answer was not as far away as you thought, it was simply waiting for you to become ready to recognize it. My beloved child, the first thing you need to understand is that revelation rarely arrives with a label announcing its importance. Sometimes it enters quietly through an ordinary conversation, a sentence you almost ignore, a thought that suddenly returns, or an opportunity that appears when you least expect it. Today may bring one of those moments. Don't skip, because what looks insignificant at first may become meaningful once you connect it with everything you have been experiencing lately. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation may explain why you have felt that something was changing even though you could not identify exactly what it was. Perhaps your priorities have shifted. Perhaps you have become less interested in proving yourself to people who never understood you. Perhaps you are finally ready to make a decision you kept postponing. These changes matter. They can be the beginning of a new direction, even before anything outside you looks different. Now listen carefully to this. Today's revelation may challenge an assumption you have carried for longer than you realize. You may have believed that you needed one specific person to return, one particular opportunity to appear, or one exact outcome to finally feel complete. But what if today reveals that your future was never limited to that single possibility? What if the real breakthrough is discovering another path? Stay till the end. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you in the realization that a changed direction is not automatically a failed direction. Sometimes life becomes clearer when an old expectation loses its grip. You begin to see what is actually available instead of constantly imagining what could have been. And if something unexpected happens today, do not immediately decide what it means. Give yourself time. Look at the facts. Ask better questions. Pray for wisdom. Let the moment reveal itself before you give it a permanent meaning. And now the most important part, the revelation may not be something that happens to you at all. It may be something you finally understand about yourself. You may suddenly realize what you truly want. You may recognize a pattern you are ready to leave behind. You may discover that your peace no longer depends on receiving one particular answer. You may understand that the next chapter requires a different version of you. Something huge is waiting for you, but it may begin with that inner shift. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the next part will reveal why the moment of revelation can feel almost shocking when you have spent so long looking in the wrong direction. Today may not give you every answer, but it can give you something equally valuable, enough clarity to recognize your next wise step. And once that step becomes visible, you may look back and realize that what seemed like waiting was actually preparation. My beloved child, today's revelation may begin with something so ordinary that you almost overlook it. A sentence, a name, a message, a sudden idea, an unexpected opportunity, or even a change in plans could make you pause for a second. Do not rush past that moment. Don't skip, because the smallest detail can sometimes expose the biggest truth. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and this is where the meaning of "revealed today" becomes much deeper. You may have been expecting a dramatic event, but what if the real revelation is clarity about something that has been quietly developing for weeks or months? What if today is simply the moment when all the small pieces finally connect? You may suddenly understand why a particular situation unfolded the way it did. You may see why an old plan stopped making sense. You may recognize that your priorities have changed. And that realization can be powerful because once you understand something clearly, you cannot unknow it. You begin making different decisions, not because someone forced you, but because you finally see what was already there. Now think about the one question you have been carrying quietly. Perhaps you have asked, should I continue? Perhaps it is, should I let this go? Perhaps you have wondered whether a certain opportunity is truly right for you or whether you have simply become emotionally attached to the idea of it. Today may reveal an important piece of that answer. Stay till the end. Don't skip, because the next part may challenge the way you have been interpreting your circumstances. If this message is helping you see something differently, share it with someone who might need the same reminder. You do not need to chase signs or force coincidences into a meaning. Look for what is concrete. Look at consistent actions. Look at repeated patterns. Look at what brings clarity and what continually creates confusion. Something huge is waiting for you, but the revelation may be less about predicting the future and more about recognizing what your present circumstances are already showing you. Sometimes the answer is not hidden, it is simply difficult to accept. And now comes the unexpected turn. You may discover that the thing you thought needed to happen today was never the real breakthrough. The real breakthrough may be that you finally stop waiting for permission to take your next wise step. Maybe you have been waiting for someone else to choose. Maybe you have been waiting for perfect timing. Maybe you have been waiting until you feel completely certain. But certainty is not always required for progress. Sometimes you need enough clarity to move one step forward. Something huge is waiting for you, and today may reveal the direction rather than the entire destination. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the next part will uncover why the revelation you are waiting for could be connected to something you previously considered a disappointment. And when you see that connection, you may realize that the thing you thought delayed your story may actually have been preparing you for the moment when everything finally started making sense. My beloved child, something is becoming clearer now, and the surprising part is that you may have already experienced the first piece of the revelation without recognizing its importance. Maybe a plan changed. Maybe a conversation ended differently than expected. Maybe an opportunity appeared and then disappeared. Maybe you suddenly stopped wanting something you once desperately pursued. These moments can feel random when they happen individually, but sometimes their meaning becomes visible only when you look backward. Don't skip, because today's revelation may be connected to something that happened earlier than today. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you in the connection between what you thought was a setback and what may actually have been preparation. You may have wondered why something took so long, why a certain door did not open, or why your plans kept changing. But perhaps the delay gave you time to develop patience, discernment, confidence, or a clearer understanding of what you truly want. The revelation may not be about suddenly receiving everything you asked for. It may be about finally understanding why your journey had to look different from what you originally imagined. Now listen carefully, because this is where the emotional weight becomes stronger. There was probably a moment when you thought, if only this one thing had worked out, everything would be different. You replayed the situation. You imagined another ending. You wondered whether you made the wrong decision or whether someone else changed the direction of your life. But today may reveal something you could not see back then. Your story was never limited to one outcome. Stay till the end. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting in the possibility that your greatest turning point may come from realizing that you are no longer the same person who wanted that old outcome so badly. You have learned. You have changed. Your standards may be different. Your priorities may be different. Your definition of peace may be different. And that means the next opportunity does not have to resemble the previous one. If something unexpected becomes clear today, give yourself time to understand it instead of immediately deciding what it means. And here is the revelation that may surprise you most. Today could reveal that what you have been calling waiting was actually a period of preparation. Not necessarily preparation for one guaranteed event, but preparation for better decisions. Preparation to recognize what is genuine. Preparation to stop settling for what repeatedly leaves you uncertain. Preparation to appreciate opportunities without becoming dependent on them. Something huge is waiting for you, but perhaps the first part of it is the clarity to recognize what deserves your energy now. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because the next part will reveal why the timing of this realization matters and why something you notice today could become the missing piece in a question you have carried for far too long. You may not receive every answer at once, but one answer can be enough to change your direction. And sometimes one clear step is all you need before the rest of the path begins to reveal itself. My beloved child, there is a reason the revelation has not appeared in the way you expected, and you are about to understand why. You may have been looking for something obvious, a dramatic announcement, a perfect opportunity, an unmistakable answer. But the moment that changes your perspective may be much quieter. It could be one sentence that suddenly makes sense. One conversation that exposes what you needed to know. One realization that changes the way you see a person, a decision, or even yourself. Don't skip, because this is where today's message becomes more personal. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you in the understanding that not every revelation arrives by adding something new to your life. Sometimes it arrives by removing confusion. You may finally stop wondering whether you should keep chasing an old expectation. You may finally understand why a certain situation has felt incomplete. You may finally see that your next step does not require everyone around you to agree with it. Today could be the day when something becomes clear enough for you to stop standing between two directions. Think about the last time you felt completely uncertain about a decision. You probably wanted someone to tell you exactly what to do. You wanted a guarantee that your choice would lead to the outcome you hoped for. But life rarely provides that kind of certainty. Instead, you receive clues through experience, patterns, wisdom, and the consequences of previous choices. Stay till the end. Don't skip, because the revelation ahead may challenge the belief that you need absolute certainty before moving forward. Sometimes you only need enough clarity to take the next responsible step. Ask yourself what you know today that you did not know yesterday. Ask what has changed. Ask what has remained consistent. Ask whether your current direction reflects who you are becoming or simply who you used to be. Something huge is waiting for you, but it may begin when you stop demanding that the entire future reveal itself at once. Let today give you one piece. Let that peace become understanding. Let understanding become wisdom. And let wisdom guide your next move. Now listen carefully, because this may be the most surprising revelation yet. You may discover that the thing you were waiting for has already begun in a form you did not recognize. Maybe the change began inside you. Maybe your priorities shifted. Maybe your confidence returned. Maybe you stopped tolerating what you once accepted. Maybe you became willing to walk toward something new without needing the past to explain itself first. Something huge is waiting for you, but today's revelation may be less about a sudden event and more about recognizing that you are ready for what comes next. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the next part will uncover what happens when the internal revelation finally meets an external opportunity. And why the combination of those two moments can make an ordinary day feel completely different. The answer may be closer than you think, but you have to be willing to notice it when it appears. My beloved child, today may reveal something you have been trying to understand for much longer than you realize, but the revelation may arrive through a moment so simple that you almost dismiss it. A conversation could suddenly expose what someone truly intends. A familiar situation could show you a pattern you never noticed before. A new opportunity could appear and make you question why you spent so much time focusing on another path. Or perhaps you will simply experience a quiet realization that changes what you want from the future. Don't skip, because this is where the pieces begin connecting. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation may completely change how you interpret the delays, changes, and unanswered questions you have experienced. Sometimes you keep asking, when will something happen, when the better question is, what is already happening that I have not recognized? That question can open your eyes. Look carefully at what is changing around you and inside you. Do not force a meaning onto every coincidence, but do not ignore consistent patterns either. Wisdom lives between those two extremes. Now imagine waking up one day and realizing that you no longer need the answer you once thought you could not live without. That realization can be more shocking than receiving the answer itself. You may have spent so much time hoping for a particular outcome that you forgot to ask whether it still fits the person you have become. Stay till the end. Don't skip, because something huge may be waiting inside this shift. Perhaps you are finally ready to stop chasing validation. Perhaps you are ready to stop repeating a conversation that never changes. Perhaps you are ready to pursue something you once considered impossible because your confidence has quietly returned. If this message is speaking directly to something you have been carrying, share it with someone who may need the reminder that growth can change what we desire. You do not have to remain emotionally attached to an old dream simply because you once prayed for it. You can appreciate what you wanted while still allowing your life to evolve beyond it. Today may reveal that your next chapter requires a different kind of courage. And here is the unexpected turn. What is revealed today may not give you the complete destination, it may reveal the next door. Something huge is waiting for you, but the door may look ordinary at first. It could be an invitation, a conversation, an idea, a connection, a decision, or a chance to begin again. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the next part will go deeper into what happens when you finally recognize the difference between an opportunity that simply looks exciting and one that genuinely aligns with your values and direction. Today is not about forcing a miracle into a specific shape. It is about becoming alert enough to recognize meaningful possibilities when they appear. And when something unexpected becomes clear, pause before reacting. Ask what it requires. Ask whether it is consistent. Ask whether it brings you closer to the person you want to become. Because the most powerful revelation may be waiting in plain sight, and you may only recognize it once you stop searching for something dramatic. My beloved child, there is a reason the next revelation may feel different from everything you expected. You may finally see the difference between what attracts your attention and what deserves your commitment. Something can look exciting and still not be right for your direction. Something can arrive quietly and still carry enormous significance. Today may reveal that distinction through one conversation, one opportunity, one decision, or one realization that makes you stop and think. Don't skip, because this is where the message becomes sharper. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and you may discover that the revelation is not simply about what is coming. It is about recognizing what deserves a place in your future. You have probably experienced moments when you wanted something simply because you had wanted it for so long. But wanting something intensely does not automatically mean it belongs in your next chapter. Today may give you a chance to look again with wiser eyes. Ask yourself whether the thing you are pursuing still matches your values, your growth, and the peace you are trying to build. Now pay attention to what happens when clarity begins replacing attachment. A situation that once consumed your thoughts may suddenly feel smaller. A person you once placed on a pedestal may appear more realistically human. An old plan may no longer seem like the only possible future. And a new direction may begin to feel surprisingly natural. Stay till the end. Don't skip, because something huge may be waiting in that change of perspective. You may have thought your breakthrough would come from finally getting what you wanted, but your breakthrough could actually come from understanding what you no longer need. That realization can create enormous freedom. You stop negotiating with uncertainty. You stop chasing answers from people who cannot provide them. You stop delaying your life until every question has been resolved. If something becomes clear today, do not rush to announce it or force it into a dramatic story. Let the truth prove itself through consistency. Let your choices be guided by wisdom rather than excitement. And let your peace have a voice in your decision. And now comes the revelation that connects everything. Something may be revealed today because you are finally ready to recognize it. The opportunity may have existed before, but you were focused elsewhere. The lesson may have been present before, but you were not ready to accept it. The answer may have been near, but your heart was still attached to another outcome. Something huge is waiting for you, but recognition is part of receiving. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the next part will bring us closer to the moment when the hidden meaning becomes obvious. You may discover that what you once called a delay was actually creating space. What you called rejection was information. What you called confusion was an invitation to ask better questions. And what you called waiting may have been the period in which you became capable of making a wiser choice. Today may reveal something important, but the real power will come from what you do with that revelation once you see it. My beloved child, you have reached the moment where the pieces begin to fit together, and what you are about to understand may completely change the way you look at today. For so long, you may have been waiting for something outside yourself to confirm that your life was moving forward. You wanted a message, an opportunity, a conversation, or a sign that would finally tell you, now is the time. But perhaps today's revelation begins when you realize that you have already changed enough to recognize what once confused you. Don't skip, because this is where the message becomes deeply personal. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the revelation may come through something you previously considered ordinary. A sentence may suddenly connect with something you experienced months ago. A decision may become easier because you finally understand what it requires. A person's consistent actions may answer a question their words never could. Or you may simply realize that you are no longer willing to compromise your values for an outcome. That realization can be the beginning of an entirely different chapter. Now imagine the moment when you finally understand why something did not happen when you wanted it to. Maybe you were emotionally attached to a specific timeline. Maybe you believed that if it did not happen quickly, it never would. But today may show you that timing and readiness are not always the same thing. Something can be delayed without being meaningless, and something can arrive quickly without being right for you. Stay till the end. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting in this distinction. You are learning to recognize quality instead of simply chasing speed. You are learning to look for consistency instead of excitement. You are learning to value peace instead of constant uncertainty. And that means when something is revealed today, you may respond differently than you would have responded a year ago. You may ask better questions. You may take your time. You may recognize what deserves your energy without needing anyone to convince you. If today brings an unexpected development, let yourself observe it before you decide what it means. Let reality speak louder than imagination. And now comes the revelation that may surprise you most. What is revealed today could be less about receiving an answer and more about receiving a direction. Something huge is waiting for you, but perhaps it is not one giant event that changes everything overnight. Perhaps it is one clear step that changes the trajectory of everything that follows. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the final part will bring this entire message together and reveal why the thing you have been waiting to see may already be closer than you think. Maybe you will understand why a particular delay happened. Maybe you will recognize why a certain opportunity never felt right. Maybe you will finally see the value in a change that once disappointed you. Or maybe you will simply know what to do next. Whatever today reveals, do not force it into a prediction. Receive the information with wisdom. Think carefully. Pray. Let consistency confirm what emotion cannot. Because sometimes the most powerful revelation is not, here is everything that will happen. It is simply, here is the next step. And once you know that step, the future does not have to be fully visible for you to move forward. My beloved child, this is the moment everything you have been hearing comes together, because the revelation you have been waiting for may not arrive with a dramatic announcement. It may arrive as clarity. It may arrive as a conversation that finally makes sense, a decision that suddenly feels obvious, an opportunity that appears at the right moment, or an inner realization that changes what you are willing to accept. Don't skip, because this is the part where the title reaches its deepest meaning. Something is about to happen to you does not have to mean that one specific event is guaranteed to happen at an exact time. It can mean that something is changing in your awareness, your direction, your circumstances, or your understanding, and today may be the day you finally recognize it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you in the realization that you have not been standing still. Even through delays, unanswered questions, and unexpected changes, you have been learning how to see more clearly. And when clarity arrives, it can feel shocking because suddenly you understand what yesterday seemed impossible to explain. Now look back at the journey that brought you here. Think about the things you once begged to understand. Think about the situations that confused you. Think about the plans that changed, the opportunities that disappeared, the conversations that never happened, and the moments when you wondered whether you were moving in the right direction. Perhaps today does not give you every answer, but it may reveal enough to change your next decision. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, but do not make yourself dependent on one exact outcome. Instead, watch for clarity that is supported by reality. Watch for consistent actions. Watch for opportunities that align with your values. Watch for the wisdom that helps you distinguish what feels exciting from what is genuinely right for your path. If something unexpected happens today, pause before attaching a huge meaning to it. Take it in. Think. Pray. Ask questions. Let time confirm what emotion cannot. You do not have to force the revelation. If it is meaningful, you will be able to recognize its value without exaggerating it. And now, my beloved child, here is the final revelation. Perhaps what is about to happen is not simply something coming toward you, it is something awakening within you. A new level of clarity. A stronger sense of direction. A willingness to stop repeating what no longer serves you. A deeper ability to recognize healthy opportunities. A quiet confidence that says, I do not need to know the entire future to take the next wise step. Something huge is waiting for you, but you do not have to chase it with fear or desperation. Stay open. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. Don't skip now, because this is the message you should carry beyond this video. When today reveals something unexpected, do not immediately ask, is this the miracle I was promised? Ask, what is this teaching me, and what wise step can I take from here? That question can change everything. Maybe today brings a conversation. Maybe it brings an opportunity. Maybe it brings a realization. Maybe it simply gives you peace about a decision you have been carrying for too long. Whatever becomes clear, receive it with wisdom. Because the greatest revelation may be that your future does not require you to predict every moment, it requires you to recognize the right moment when it arrives.